Hello, and welcome to a little video about modeling linear inequalities. All right, number one, Adrian saved $200. We're going to assume it's cash, otherwise it won't quite work with all the theories of having a credit card. So Adrian saved $200. He already spent $25. He plans to spend $5 on a Starbucks drink each week. Let's write an inequality that represents the number of Starbucks drinks he can buy. Okay. Let's start off with the money he's already spent. He's already spent $25. So we're just going to write down 25 because that can't change no matter what. It's already spent. And he plans to spend $5 on Starbucks. And is an addition word, so I'm going to write plus. $5 is what he plans to spend, so I'm going to write down that 5 next. Do we know how many drinks he's going to buy yet without solving the problem? No. So I'm going to write an x next to 5. The reason I'm writing an x next to 5 is because when we don't know something in math, we use a variable. Could I have used any other letter? Sure, why not? But I prefer x. It's nice, it's simple, it's easy. All right, now I'm going to leave a little space in between there and write the 200. What I need to decide on now is what symbol do I use? So let me think. Can Adrian spend more than the money that he has? No, he can't. He only has $200. He can only spend that amount. So 25 plus 5x must be less than the $200 he has. Can Adrian spend all his money? Sure, it's his money. He can spend it. So I'm adding an or equal to. Now, let's solve that inequality. We are solving inequalities the exact same way we solve equations. So the process is the same. On the next page, I'll tell you what is very special about solving them, but it's just one thing, so let's just get started with it. In this inequality, the first step that I'm going to take is subtract 25 from both sides. On the left, I have 5x left over, still have less than or equal to 200 minus 125 is 175. 200 minus 25 is 175. Next, to finish solving, just like in a regular equation, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. I ran out of room, so let's write it up here. Okay, on the left, it's just x left over is less than or equal to 175 divided by 5 gives me 35. So that's the math of it, but what does it mean in the context of our word problem? X represents the number of Starbucks drinks that he plans to buy. So let's write that out in English words. He can buy 35 or less drinks. All right, let's try one more. Vivian wants to buy tons of Air Jordans. She worked all summer and saved $650. She has already spent $145. She also plans to spend $150 on a pair of shoes every month. Let's write an inequality. First, let's start off with the amount of money she's already spent and we can't change. So that's $145. And, so plus, she plans to spend $150 on a pair of shoes. So 150 is next. We don't know how many shoes she plans to buy, so instead of a number, I'm going to put the variable x. Now I know she has 650. Let's decide on our inequality symbol. Can she spend more than the cash that she has? No, absolutely not. So the amount on the left must be less than 650. Can she spend all of her money? Why not? It's her money. She earned it. So let's add an or equal to symbol. Next, let's solve the inequality so we can figure out how many Air Jordans she can afford to buy with the money she has. The first thing that we're going to do here is subtract 145 from both sides. On the left, we have 150x left over is less than or equal to 650 minus 145 is 505. Next, let's finish up by dividing both sides by 150. Okay. On the left, we have x left over, which is perfect. That's what we wanted. I'll rewrite that. There we go. It's still less than or equal to. 505 divided by 150 gives me 3.36, I believe, which I'm going to round to 3.4. Now, let's interpret our answer. Can Vivian buy 3.4 pairs of shoes? No, that doesn't make sense. Think about it. What is the maximum amount of shoes, whole shoes, that she can buy? That's right, she can buy 3 shoes. So let's write out the answer. Vivian can buy 3 pairs or less. Okay. Now, if you wrote 3.4, you wouldn't technically be wrong, but it wouldn't be the right interpretation of the problem because you can't buy 0.4 of a pair. So if that was a test question, I couldn't give you full credit if you wrote 3.4. All right, let's continue to that special rule of inequalities. The special rule of inequalities is if you multiply or divide both sides of an inequality by a negative number, you need to reverse the inequality symbol. All right. First, let's just review how we graph these on a number line. Remember that when we have a symbol like less than or greater than, we have an open circle. If we have a symbol like greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it's a closed circle. Let's try out these problems and graph them on a number line. Number 1. Now we have a fraction here, so the way we're going to solve it is by multiplying both sides by the reciprocal. Oh, I didn't like that color. Let me change that, guys. Hold on. There we go. That means I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 over 3. The 2's cancel, the 3's cancel on the left. I have x is greater than 4 times 2/3 gives me 2.7. X is greater than 2.7. Okay, it's a greater than, it doesn't have an equal to, so 2.7 gets an open circle. Greater than is to the right, because the numbers are getting bigger to the right, so I'm drawing an arrow to the right. Fantastic. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's try number 2. Number 2, oh, I forgot to change my color again. What's going on with me? All right. In number 2, we have a negative fraction. So we're going to have to multiply both sides by the negative reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by 3 over 2, by negative 3 over 2. On the left, the negatives cancel, the 3's cancel, the 2's cancel. Perfect. We're left with x. We are about to multiply by a negative, so let's immediately flip our symbol. Instead of less than or equal to, it's now greater than or equal to. 4 times negative 3 over 2 is negative 6. Because x is greater than or equal to negative 6, we're going to put a filled in, a closed circle on negative 6. Greater than is an arrow to the right. Number 3. The first step that you should take here is adding 7 to both sides. The reason I'm addressing the 7 first is because the x is attached to 6. Whatever's attached to the x should be your last step. Okay. On the left, we have 6x, which is less than or equal to 5 plus 7 gives us 12. Let's finish up this problem like we finish up most of our equations, dividing both sides by 6. We've divided by a positive, so our symbol stays the same. X is less than or equal to 2. Since it's or equal to, 2 gets a closed circle. Less is left, so our arrow goes to the left. 3 more problems. Let's go. All right, number 4. Now, number 4 is different. Can you tell how? Hopefully you can notice that the x is actually on the right side. Now that's not my favorite. I actually quite dislike when x is on the right in inequalities, but it happens. So I want to show you what to do when we come across that. First and foremost, let's solve for x by subtracting 5 from both sides to start, and then dividing by 3. Okay. 13 divided by 3 gives us 4.3. The symbol stays the same, so it's less than x. Now, just based off the symbol, I know that 4.3 should have an open circle. Now, 4.3 is less than x, means that x is bigger than 4.3. You could also think about rewriting the inequality, or how my middle school teachers taught me is I drew these little teeth in the inequality symbols, and it kind of looks like an alligator. The alligator eats what's biggest. If it's eating x, x is greater, so we point it to the right. Let's try that again with number 5. The first step in number 5 is going to be to subtract 7 from both sides. Very careful, don't lose the negative in front of that 2x. Next, we have to divide by negative 2. Now, it's very tempting to add 2 because you see that negative, but negative 2x is negative 2 times x. So we divide. Since we're dividing by a negative, we have to remember to flip our symbol. So let's do that right away. X is on the right. 3 divided by negative 2 is negative 1.5. So negative 1.5 is greater than x. You have two options after drawing an open circle on negative 1.5. You can rewrite the inequality, or you can draw in the little alligator teeth. The little alligator teeth are eating the 1.5. That means 1.5 is bigger. X is smaller than 1.5. So our arrow goes to the left. I drew it to the left. I don't know why I said right. Okay, last one, number 6. On this one, we have x's on both sides. I'm about to break my favorite rule of solving equations, which is taking the smaller variables and moving to the side of the bigger variables. But because I don't like x's on the on the right side in inequalities, I'm going to move my x's to the right. So how would I move positive 12x to the left? By subtracting. Good. Let's do that. 5x's minus 12x's is negative 7x's. The plus 4 stays, and it's less than negative 10. Next, let's subtract 4 from both sides. So we got negative 7x is less than negative 14. And we're going to finish up by dividing by a negative number. So let's not forget to flip that symbol. There we go. X is greater than 2. Fantastic. Based on the symbol, I'm going to put an open circle on positive 2. X is greater than, so my arrow goes to the right. Okay. So not too much new stuff, but a little bit to remember. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask me. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of whatever day it is for you. Bye!